Hello traders, my name is Tomasz Wiśniewski, I'm a chief analyst in Allpro Research and Analysis, and this is our daily analytical report. Let's start with the calendar. Today we'll have a lot of Fed speak, and we are expecting the interest rate decision. And as you can see, we are expecting a rise of the interest rates in United States from 2% to 2.25, so 25 basis points. After this press conference, along with the rate decision, we'll get economic projections. So if you think about trading American dollar today and you like to risk a lot, you like the volatility, fair enough, it's your day, but if you try to limit the risk as much as possible, then in my opinion you shouldn't trade today. You shouldn't buy American dollar, you shouldn't sell American dollar, because we are expecting really high volatility, and traders who are trying to avoid volatility, who are trying to play the safe game on the market, I guess they would prefer to stay away during those times. I don't know which trader are you. I'm this trader who likes to play it safe. I'm not a fan of trading during such important events, and so I'm not gonna do this. So stay sharp, and also look here, because overnight it's in calendar, it's on Thursday, but it's this night. We have interest rate decision statement, a press conference from Reserve Bank of New Zealand. We do not expect any changes, and interest rate is higher in the United States than New Zealand. This is pretty interesting. Actually, interest rate is higher in US than in Poland, which is surprising. Because usually emerging markets they have higher interest rates than United States, than a major economy. But we live in interesting times, and this is what is happening. With that being said, let's move to the charts, and we start with the British pound to Canadian dollar. I told you yesterday that the movements here are pretty crazy, because the price getting here, breaking this orange support, that was a really nice sell signal. But the price did not follow the sell signal. Instead of going down, well, they went up. It wasn't a surprise, because the price could have tested this line as a resistance, so that was okay, but we were expecting the bounce here. Luckily, I didn't trade this, because I'm a bit suspicious about pairs with like British pound to Canadian dollar or British pound to Japanese yen, because my strategy, I found out that few years ago, that my approach towards those pairs do not work really, and my strategy is on those pairs is not working. It's not bringing profits. So my understanding of how those pairs move is a bit different. So instead of testing the broken support as a resistance, the price came back and is climbing higher and higher and higher. Higher lows, higher highs. Fair enough. With this kind of a setup, with this kind of movements, we are more expecting the price to break this downtrend line here. Look, the volatility here, okay, that was a directional movement, but the volatility was really low. Look here, one day opens on top, closes on bottom, the other day goes the opposite way, and this is really not the place to be for the technical traders, for the trend followers, because you may be a technical trader, but for example, you go from bounce to, for example, like sell signal from oscillators or something, and then maybe you are earning money. But for the trend followers, this situation here is pretty crazy. Let's maybe clear those lines because they may be interfering with the current situation, right? So let's get rid of the bias if there is any. I think that it would be fair to claim this flag, upswing flag, most probably an upswing. This is a false breakout. It's still here, so this false breakout should bring us a further upswing. New Zealand dollar to Canadian dollar. Here overnight we got the data from New Zealand. Trade balance. Yes, trade balance slightly worse than expected. This is the reaction. What we are having here is can be false breakout. We had the resistance here. That was the false breakout. I'm gonna delete this. False breakout above the resistance, false breakout above the downtrend line. That's a correction, downswing correction, downswing correction. Most probably a further downswing. Euro to British pound. I was expecting a drop, but this drop goes slightly beyond the expectations. Instead of the pennant, what we are having here is a flag. Okay, fair enough. Flag is still good. This yellow area is still relevant, but it's losing a bit of strength because the price is going through this line and coming back. It should be bounce or a definite breakout, but we don't see this. The buy signal will be triggered when the price will break the upper line of this orange line. The sell signal will be triggered when the price will close a day below the yellow area. Cable, upswing, breakout of the lower line. Price went to the 38.2, bounced from 23.6, still is using 23.6 as a support. 38.2 is relevant as well, so on cable is respecting Fibos. Keep that in mind when trading. What we are having here is also a flag, so a channel up, downswing, flag, most probably a downswing, but the situation here is unclear, so I want to say if you should sell or buy. I never would say that, obviously, because we are not giving recommendations here. It's against the law. What we are doing here, we are analyzing the situation on the chart. In my opinion, here we don't have a clear buy or sell signal. DAX after the bounce from the major neckline is climbing a little bit higher. Here we broke this first downtrend line and we entered the sideways trend. But the thing is that as long as we are above this blue line, the buy signal is on, especially that we have a positive setup on S&P 500. Gold continues the super boring sideways trend. I'm sorry, I wish I could help you with the setup on gold, but I'm struggling with this as well. That is just so boring. Look, from the middle of August, we are locked in a sideways trend. The price is actually around $1,200. is above, below, above, below, above, below. Now we were slightly above, now we're coming back below. So yeah, this is the situation gold, and for the proper signal we will have to go here for the buy and here for the sell, so we are exactly in the middle of this. So chances for that are equal. Bitcoin today tries to climb a little bit higher, but the thing is that we are still inside of this rectangle, and we have higher chances for the price to break the lower line of this rectangle and go to test $5,900. For us, that is my which start and breakout of this line can be really dangerous and can drive the price to those lows. We don't know if those traders who bought in the bubble, they are already out, they sold here, or here this movement even buying Bitcoin for this amount of money. The British pound to Japanese yen, what I was seeing here, and I recorded that on the Trading Sniper video, is the head and shoulder pattern. So there is a left shoulder head and a right shoulder, and we are bouncing from this horizontal resistance. Is having this pattern, and only the fact that we're having this pattern means nothing, but the breakout of the horizontal orange line will bring us a sell signal. That will be a legitimate left shoulder head and right shoulder rejection of this resistance, and that will be a signal to go short. As for now, we don't have this breakout, so there is no signal to go short. Simple as that. Euro to Japanese yen, so here we have a possibility for a stronger yen, right? But here this possibility for a stronger yen is very weak, because here we have a pattern which rather promotes a further upswing, because this is an ascending triangle pattern which is above the major uptrend line, which is uptrend line is here, the lower line of the triangle is here, the upper line of the triangle is here. And this kind of pattern, like you saw Bitcoin, which is in a descending triangle. So there is a rising pressure on the horizontal support. On euro to Japanese yen, there is a higher chance there is a pressure on the horizontal resistance. So those bounces from those resistance are smaller, and the price is going higher. S&P 500, this setup is really sweet. So there is an uptrend, corrections. There is a breakout of the horizontal resistance. After that, we are testing this resistance as a support. S&P 500 has tested that resistance as a support and is creating a double bottom formation, 1, 2. And this kind of setup, like a double bottom on a horizontal support and an uptrend, That is really a legitimate signal to buy, and I would be really surprised if the price did not follow that. I would be really surprised if traders decide to ignore this signal. Like really, really surprised. Because in my opinion, this is a legitimate setup, and from this, the price should fight for the new all-time highs. And we all know that traders in America are very experienced in that. So American dollar to Japanese yen. 2 days ago we said about an upswing. Upswing is happening. Today overnight we had new midterm highs. Everything is good. Higher highs, higher lows. 4 or the same corrections in a row. Beautiful. Uptrend. Horizontal support. Everything looks sweet. Maybe. Traders are now respecting this horizontal support. That's a bit too much because the difference is quite big, like from the top to the bottom is like 13 pips, but fair enough. I think that the neckline, that the trend line was more important here. So full buy signal on American dollar to Japanese yen. Oil, as we said, breakout of this neckline of this inverse head and shoulder formation and breakout of the upper line of this symmetric triangle should bring us a buy signal, and that is what is happening. There is a buy signal here. Broke here, support. That should end with an upswing. Australian dollar to Japanese yen, inverse head and shoulder pattern. That is a powerful of the false breakouts. Head and shoulder pattern, broken neckline, false breakout. And after the false breakout, we have a reversal. Inverse head and shoulder pattern, this one was respected. Breakout of the horizontal resistance, breakout of the downtrend line, and now we are pushing higher. So, we do have a buy signal on Australian dollar to Japanese yen. We do have a buy signal on American dollar to Japanese yen. We do have a positive sentiment on euro to Japanese yen. So British pound to Japanese yen, maybe this head and shoulder pattern will not work out, and instead of creating the right shoulder, the price here will break the yellow resistance, which will cancel the negative approach and open as a buy signal here as well. So a negative sell signal for the yen in overall. Euro dollar, we told you about this right shoulder here, left shoulder, head on the right shoulder. Fair enough, now it's a bit too early to claim this, but it's kind of a symmetric triangle, rectangle, here, that's definitely sideways trend. Breakout to the downside, sell signal, breakout to the upside, buy signal. If you're wondering what is going to happen, in 8 hours, 40 minutes, 41 minutes, you will find out. Because definitely if the breakout will not happen now, if the breakout will not happen now, it will definitely happen in 8 hours, 41 minutes. Because this will bring us volatility, and we'll have a new direction for this instrument. Australian dollar to American dollar, that is another test of this black line. How the black line is important? Because it's the long-term downtrend line. So it's the second time we're trying to break this level, second time unsuccessful, and a comeback below this horizontal support will give us a sell signal. And obviously here we also have to wait. Well, you can bet for this breakout now. I won't stop you, but if you want to be sure, more certain about this, it would be much better for you to wait for the breakout. British pound, New Zealand dollar. We were telling you about the positive sentiment yesterday. The price went higher, but this weakness, the strength of the New Zealand dollar happened overnight, so the situation is not so clear anymore. Those who bought with this bounce from the horizontal support here are still in a good position. That was really a good trade. So if you bought here, maybe there will be small correction, but in overall, your long position looks pretty safe to me. New Zealand dollar to Swiss franc, downswing, triangle, downswing, triangle, downswing, triangle, upswing, triangle, upswing. So it changed. Situation is a bit different now. What is this? Is a neckline of the inverse shoulder pattern, which is not the prettiest one on the record, but the neckline is respected, so why we should ignore this. A breakout of the red line should drive the price towards the orange resistance, and we have high chances for this. Silver, okay. Before I'm gonna mention silver, I need to show you gold again, because gold is in a sideways trend. Sideways trend, below resistance, above support. But silver is in a slightly better situation because they ended the sideways trend, which here lasted from the beginning of September. We broke this downtrend line, but I told you that it's not super significant because we just moved outside. We didn't break it like with a proper upswing, but we just were pushed outside really by the passing time. But here we have an attack on the horizontal resistance. A price closing above this horizontal resistance, this orange area, will be a really good signal to buy. On the other hand, price closing below the yellow area will be a signal to sell. And here we do have a horizontal resistance, another one, which in case if we will hold above this line, if we will hold above the orange line and we will close the day above the orange line, the red area will be our next target. And American dollar to Swiss franc, where we do have a buy signal. Well, not yet, but we are just few pips away from this buy signal. So what is happening here? We do have a strong downtrend. And in the past few weeks, 4 weeks, the price created a channel down formation. And on Friday we had a breakout of the lower line of the channel down formation, which is a sign of enormous strength of the sellers. Because normally a seller should, the price should go like from the bottom line to the upper line. But here we had a breakout. That was a show of strength, but it was denied. So that was a false breakout pattern. So then immediately we got a sign of weakness. And the price reversed. And the price reversed, pulled by this false breakout pattern, and broke the horizontal resistance here marked with yellow color and went higher. We are above the yellow area, which is super positive, but we are below the upper line of the channel down formation, which is negative. But, as we said, we are just few pips below this line. which increases the chances for breakout. Breakout looks really, really probable. So let me recap the situation for you again. British pound to Canadian dollar. Waiting for the signal. New Zealand dollar to Canadian dollar. That is rather sell. Euro to British pound. Unknown. Cable unknown. DAX. That is rather buy. Gold unknown. Bitcoin rather sell. British pound Japanese yen rather buy. And not according to the situation here, but according to the sentiment towards the yen on the whole market. Euro to Japanese yen, that is rather buy. S&P 500, that is strong buy. American dollar to Japanese yen, that is rather buy. Oil buy. Australian dollar, Japanese yen buy. Euro dollar, hard to tell. Australian dollar, hard to tell. British pound, New Zealand dollar, that is rather buy in the long term. New Zealand dollar to Swiss franc, hard to tell. Silver, that can be buy, but without the support of gold, they shouldn't do anything. Keep that in mind. And American dollar to Swiss franc, as you can see, we're breaking this line as we speak. So we do have, if you do not wait for the candlestick to close, that is a nice buy signal. If you wait for the candlestick to close, the close of this H1 candle above the red line without any bigger head, bigger shadow from the top, will be an invitation to go long. So that is the situation on the market right now. Thanks very much for attending. I hope to see you soon. Now we have a short break, and after that a webinar about the fundamental analysis, and I hope to see you all there. All the best in trading, guys, and stay safe on the market. Remember, today we do have an interest rate decision in the United States, so we expect a much higher volatility in next how many? 8 hours? 8 hours, 33 minutes. Thanks, guys. All the best.